Oh, fuck. Are you kidding me? Okay. Oh, come on. Don't you go unstable on me. Okay. No, it's good. Oh, damn it. They can hear me.
Let's get this bread.
Okay, now they can hear me. They can hear you. And
Okay.
here we go. I'm pouring myself a beer, folks, because I'm a pro streamer and I'm not nervous at all. And I'm going to apologize in advance to every time I get cracky and choked up as we do this episode today, because it's been a long road. In the meantime, let's have our players introduce themselves. Seeing as Vidar has got a mouthful of toast, we will start with Good Guy Pie.
Hello everyone, I'm Good Guy Pie and I will be playing Luck Goldheart, Adventure Extraordinaire, all the way from Elevation Pit. And we're near the end.
The end approaches. Next up, we have NNG9.
Hello, I am Energy9, local puntress, and really right now, and Cat Wrangler. You play Lunar Water Genasi Monk, manager of arguably also cats. Take it away.
True. Next up is Bird versus Plane.
Hey folks, I'm Bird vs. Plane. I'll be playing Iskatol, the half-elf bard turned gunslinger. And Alicia, you'd think all your hours of Monster Hunter would teach you a thing or two about keeping cats in check.
No, I'm bad at that game.
Next up, the man behind the cat, Templar Warden.
You can never keep cats in check. What are you talking about? Hello, I am Templar Warden playing Hidden by Axel, the Tabaxi wizard who has been mostly can't do much without magic at this point. But looking forward to how things turn out and whatever's going on. Who knows, maybe I'll just have to go dragon.
You might have to. And last but not least, we have, speaking of dragons, dragons are cats.
Hello, everyone. I am Dragons and Cats, and I am playing Vidar Lycran, the Hexblade Warlock of the Burnished Star, Ryan Talia, about to shed some light on these Neverwinks. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
It's going to be a big session.
I am Tall Squall, your beer-drinking, pro-streaming host of this crazy thing. 3.5 years, I still don't know how to mute my mic when we're in studio mode, if we make it into studio mode at all. So I am looking forward to this session. It has been a long time coming. This is, wow, getting close to the end of it all. If you are it's your first time here, we do run our channel 100% for charity. This quarter's till the end of the campaign. Stop, read your note, go slow. is Project Cure. Project Cure is a wonderful organization that's helping to get medical supplies where they're needed all the time, but especially now during this pandemic. And we've got a big session today, so unless there's any other announcements, we are going to jump right into the intro, and we are going to get started with this episode of The Vice. You got me before. A little of our singing along the way there. Hey, we've got a snake. We got a noodle. I've got a beer because, oh man, guys, okay.
The noodle.
When we last left our party, they had just finished a amazing hunting trip with their good friend Harold, who had taken them vice hunting as a part of Vice Hunters Guild. The first rule of which Vice Hunter Guild, you don't talk about Vice Hunters Guild because we don't want the folks going through the Vice to know what the pros do. They encountered many a beast and critter while they were in there, until finally taking down the chonkiest of chonky unicorns, the Phase Rhino. They adjourned for the evening to sleep up in the trees, as Vice Hunters want to do, so they could get a full night's rest. And then they were awakened as the sun began to rise on what they knew they had been working towards for almost 6 months or more, ever since they first met each other. Just like solstice morning, when they knew that their next days would be filled with huge events that would change not only them, but perhaps this sphere itself. that weight begins to settle in upon them as in these hammocks, as the sun is rising. Perhaps the last time they'll all be together. They awake there in the vice. Today, the gate opens. Something that they've experienced once through the visions, twice for Vidar. But once every 700 years, it changes this world. But another event will happen today. Old friends that they haven't seen in months, who were off on their own adventure, will be joining them. Stroth, who they met all the way back on Liam's caravan, who helped all of you at Verdant Falls, who has been a protector and mentor for all of the Genasi of East. Tian, from Reginald's Tower, the little bonsai dragonleaf tree, who he himself is from the Shimmering Grove and was sent on behalf of Jin Sarat, the keeper of that grove and the keeper of the histories of this world, to oversee these quests that they were on. Dustin will be reunited with Lily, not after just 6 months, but after 6 years of her missing. Landon, acolyte of Luna and head of the Order of the Quake, another cleric of St. Cuthbert, will be returning, and all of the other Genasi of East will as well. Anna, Bryn, Melinda, Roland, all of these Genasi that Luna took under her wing back here in the Vice, where all of this is going to culminate. So as this sun rises over the party, each of you in your individual places, what's sort of going through your minds is everything awaits here just up ahead around the clearing in the central vortex of magic of the Vice.
I'd say Vidar's probably holding up Ryan Talia to a beam of sunlight and speaking to himself. Don't balls this up. You only get one shot. He rolls out of the hammock. 3-point lands. And gets to preparing his things and stuff.
Axel, you with Riley.
He's morning he's sitting down going through his books. He's sitting again with Riley.
Thanks, Hawkeye. Luck die for everybody.
Nice. I think he's narrating a little. He's going through his books, going through his notes, and sort of finishing up a section. How many books has it been so far? 8 notebooks that he's gone through, and he's writing a conclusion. And he's flipping through these notes, talking about what they've done, and some ways telling Riley some of the adventures and how they're reaching this point. And as we come up here, I need to finish. Yeah. And so, and then you were there. We came through east and wandered into the Vice. We had some things to get ready, get used to the environment, and get some things done. And now we're here, and I'm writing this. And we're getting ready for changing the world.
Dad, are you scared? I think I'm a little scared.
Yes. And no. I'm anxious. I'm concerned. I don't know if I'm scared. I'm worried. Okay, yeah, no, I'm scared about you and everyone else. But like, it's not fear that I've felt before. It's what if it just doesn't work? What if it goes wrong? At the moment, I'm not scared. I think I will be. But it's fine. It makes sense. And we can walk through this.
Iska, Luna,
Hey.
Luck? Sorry if I cut you off.
Yeah, he was just got to settle down and make sure that he's prepped for combat, and crazy magic and everything.
Yeah, Iska is, I guess, just mentally preparing for what comes next. Like, this is kind of the climax. I think I dropped for a second. My back.
Yeah.
Cool. Iska's just kind of trying to mentally prepare for what is, kind of the climax of how she views the world as a series of stories. So this is the end, and this is where our efforts kind of decide whether we have a good ending or a bad one. And she wants to do everything she possibly can to make it the best ending and the happiest ending possible for all involved. So she's kind of sorting through everything, mentally preparing herself, and just like taking a moment to like go through everything she has to make sure she knows where everything is. When she finds something that she hasn't really thought of since the beginning of this adventure, which is her little sketchbook, which was largely forgotten about after the first couple weeks. And she flips through that a little bit and finds her early sketches of the party and their adventures, and honestly just kind of holding up pages and looking around and seeing how much they've all grown and changed. It's a relatively short amount of time, but they are not even close to the people they were at the beginning of this thing. And for the better.
Luna?
I imagine Luna does her normal exercises because it's just like prepare for another day. I think she does cut them short and pulls out sections of like the big map that she's been working on over the course of this whole thing and goes over it with Lily, maybe adding some illustrations here and there.
Okay. Lily just sort of looks at you, and she's sort of putting a new outfit on Baby, the little corn husk doll, and all the outfits that you've made for them. And she just sort of looks up at you and gives you a smile and sort of leans against you as you are working on the map.
Yep. Kind of hugs her around the shoulder and just nice
Luck.
and peaceful.
Yeah. She sort of offers Baby up for a kiss. Luck? You are muted.
Muted. Hello. There we go. Luck is just sort of walking absent-mindedly, slightly, but what's going on in his mind is a series of ideas of not that this is the end of anything, but the start of something a lot bigger than him that he has to now deal with. Just like when he found out all about the Vice and how it worked and the origins of it, he now knows a lot more about an entirely different portion of the civilization that needs help.
Sort of as you all gather your thoughts back down, sort of on the edge of the actual Viceroy's highway, you see this familiar, enclosed, hard-topped, sort of like a gypsy wagon of Stroth, the paladin, come trundling towards you from the east. It's being pulled by a giant elk. You see Stroth there, walking in front of it. You would recognize Bryn, the youngest of the group of Genasi from over in east. Sort of a stocky fire Genasi is sort of sitting up where the driver would be, but he doesn't seem to like have any leads going down to this elk. Anna, the sort of tall, awkward, young Genasi, who's always sort of unsure of herself, is confidently holding a heavy crossbow by Bryn's side, scanning out into the woods. On the left-hand side of the wagon, you see Landon, the scars on his head, the human who was told that he was a Genasi that had been cured, and where the Temple of Purity had scarred his scalp to make it look like they had taken the rocks from his earthen Genasi heritage out of his skin. On the right, you see Melinda and Roland, the water Genasi, and the sort of slacker dude boy, air Genasi. His hair's gotten much longer and is gloriously blowing in no breeze. Up there on the top, you do see Tian, where they've mounted a platform to sort of overseeing the whole group. And as you look around, Luna, you see emerge from behind the wagon, bow in hand, ever vigilant. You see Dustin appear from around the wagon. And he calls for a stop as he sees all of you there. And you see him look and capture your eyes with this hopeful, questioning look as he does not immediately see Lily.
I imagine Luna would probably actually, like, kind of like pick. Well, maybe not pick. No, but she probably actually would pick Lily up and turn to him with, like, kind of a hesitant smile.
You just see this look of wonder come over his face, and he comes running forward, charging towards you all. Yep. And Lily? Lily, is that you? He hands off his bow to one of the Genasi and just runs and just sweeps up Lily out of your arms and spins her around. And then he looks to you and he puts his one arm around you as well. I don't even know how to thank you. Lily, look how you've grown. Oh. Luna, how?
I gave you my word.
Of all places to be reunited, but it was almost in this spot where I was telling the story of Lily to all of you. And here we are in this crazy, horrible, wonderful place, reunited again.
Sometimes happy endings do happen.
Well, I guess we've got another big piece still to come, but at least for a moment, yes, I would say this is a happy ending. And it's all because of you. He looks deep into your eyes. May I? And he kisses you.
She just has, like, full shock face the whole time, just like, okay, there's no course of training, nothing. She's
And Lily's there beside you, sort of, and just a tender, slow first kiss. And he leans away, and the three of you, this little makeshift group. You are the most amazing woman, person I've ever encountered.
I love you.
I love you too, Luna, and I always will.
She just goes in and hugs him.
Just as you are. Always. The rest of you sort of see this a little bit off ahead of where the rest of you are gathered, but you do see sort of behind Luna and Dustin the elk transform, wild shape, into a familiar figure, that of Valturion, the tiefling druid, who was the bearer of the seed. And he comes forward and I hate to be the one to end beautiful reunions, but the time is almost upon us, and there is much that we need to do. We first should all gather up closer to the clearing, because that is where we will I'll need to explain to you everything that has to happen, and unfortunately it is not trivial at all. Everyone will have a part to play, and it will take all of us for this to hopefully work the way that we all want it to. And he sort of gathers together the group that he brought from East. Stroth comes around and sort of greets everyone. Sorry for the quick hellos, but Valturion says we've hardly an hour before the gate opens, and we have our one and only chance for the next 700 years. And he begins to usher you forward up to this clearing. And as you approach, you thought you were probably a good hour, maybe, or more away. You reach it in probably less than 15 minutes. The clearing has grown gigantic. It is almost 1,000 feet across now. It's like the size of a football stadium. In it, there's not just a single vortex, but a maelstrom of energy swirling around in there. Multiple funnel clouds, huge pieces of energy and deadly intensity, these nodes of lightning and thunder roaring through the area. And you can see just how devastating it has been to the trees, to the forest, to everything around. Valturion brings you as close as he dares. You can see there's a very small, probably only 6 foot wide, somewhat safe passage around the very outer edge, as though this maelstrom expands and contracts, perhaps due to vice surges or other phenomenon that happen in here. But it is not a friendly environment, to say the least. Valturion gathers everyone around and pulls out this very complex, huge schematic of runes. And I've learned quite a lot from Darixis and all of the knowledge that we gathered there with the seed. And this is what I believe will be what we must do. The anchor must be at the very center of the sigil. There, surrounded by earth and water to the west, and air and water to the west, fire and earth to the east. Yep. I am showing folks, our players, what all they are in for. So bear with me as I swap a lot of people over to their places. Around them, the elements must be bound by an arcane soul. And he looks to Vidar. A divine soul looks to Luck. And by fate, looking to Iska. All of this must be laid out and completed in a minute and a half, by myself and by Axel assisting me. And then once it begins to flow again, when the magic starts, we will each need to take our place, one on the east, one on the west, to throttle the magic coming into the ritual to ensure that it will not harm those who are within. In addition, I believe Axel and I will need protection, as the creatures of the Vice, I suspect, will be driven quite mad by all that is happening. I suggest that we place Landon, Dustin, and myself to the east, and Riley, Cilia, and Tian to the west. As that way, we will have, hopefully, the best chance of making this successful. I know there's not much time, but do what you must to prepare yourself, because when we have to move, it will be quickly. We'll have to all get into position. The runes and sigils will have to be laid out and not be interrupted. Are there any questions or preparations you would like to make? We do not have very much time.
Luna is going to paint the sigils that represent the elements and the anchor on each of those people.
Oh, good idea.
I was going to do that.
That will absolutely help when it comes to rolls.
I had that hint since the beginning of the campaign, and I'm going to use it again. Gosh dang it!
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, that's a great idea.
Vidar will ask that the people in the circles, they won't be able to move from their positions. Are we able to defend from where we are as well?
I believe you will be focused on the trials of the ritual.
Of course. Thank you. I just want to clarify. I'm ready. About you, Luck? Ready to spread those wings?
God, let's do this.
Xander, you've grown a little bit.
Have we prepped who will have what spells of the cache that we have? Because this is...
Oh yeah.
This will be the time to...
Yeah, we've got a couple Vice-attuned scrolls. There's not many, but there are a couple. And it is worth...
Who wants the resurrection scroll? Because that's a big one.
Should there be somebody in the circle or outside the circle? I'm going to say outside.
Probably outside, just in case things go pear-shaped real quick and we need a quick res on somebody.
Maybe Riley, with him having the life and death kind of scroll in the
That's
first place.
super smart.
That's
I'm
smart. He
assuming-
also has regeneration every round.
He
so-
also
There you go.
just reminder rules for spells. You need to make a roll for it. He would be rolling, I believe, wisdom, and his wisdom is not particularly powerful.
It's true as
But
well.
he's also got the life infusion, so
Yeah, it would be the hope that the life infusion, the life restoring magic, would kind
So
of give him
Riley
some kind of.
or Landon, possibly, since Landon's also a cleric.
Landon is
that'd be
also a
my only
cleric.
thought.
yep.
Those are my top forwards.
Yeah. No.
Okay. I think I'll give it to Riley.
Okay.
What was?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, what were we gonna say?
I was just going to be Riley saying, okay, Dad,
Okay, sure.
Hey, I've, you know what you're doing, right?
I've watched you lots of times. I've got it.
yeah.
You can tell he is
You've got it.
scared.
Yeah. Axel just killed. Like, big hug. Axel's been sticking to his side basically for a lot of this. If he's not doing something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we've got this. Hey, we weren't even needed.
but I'm all the way over here on the nature side, and you're over there on the order side. What if I mess up?
You take care of your side.
Okay.
We've got it on this one. You know, we've got a paladin and a cleric. I think we'll be alright.
That's true. I've got a tree.
Hey, that tree's badass.
I like that.
I'll pay the
That tree is
charge.
badass.
Yeah, my
Yes.
friend. Axel probably would have introduced them
Yeah, no,
when they showed up. He would have
Yeah.
introduced them. Yeah.
I think, Tian and that sort of
Yeah.
sound chime, sort of wind chime voice, just greetings, Runeborn. Dad, the tree's talking to me.
Yeah. He's a dragon. Dragon leaf. He's started a lot of things for me. He's a good friend. Taught me a lot. And now he's here, and we're all on the same page.
Okay.
Handing out scrolls. Vice attuned ones. We've got. Who wants imprisonment? We might use that.
That imprisonment could be a good one.
Just to confirm, is it all spellbank spells?
All spell banks, we agreed early on, all spell bank
Vice
spells
attuned.
are vice attuned. So all spell bank
so
spells.
we've got a lot of just sort of miscellaneous ones. True sight, dispel good and evil, cloud of daggers, invisibility, see invisibility. We have storm sphere, wind wall, magic
see.
polymorph.
Blinding smite, I think, as well.
Did we?
I
That
have
might
in
have
my
been-
notes somewhere. That might have not been a spell bank though. That's
Yeah.
true.
It might have not
Maybe
been a spellbank because I don't have it here.
I
and
see
tried
Kyle
to
trying to
in.
get a word in, and I know he can't speak up because he's in a...
Oh, sorry.
No,
Yep.
we're fine. I think that true sight might be good for Vidar. That would save Iska the 6th level spell slot.
Yeah, and I don't have it prepped for today, so I'll give it to Vidar.
Okay.
Also, True Sight lets him see the weave, so
That's
that
true.
might
That's
be
true.
very
Could
important
be
right
very
now.
important, yeah.
Legend lore, not useful at all,
Not necessarily.
but it could be. I think it's an hour cast time.
It's
so.
an hour cast
Oh,
time,
yeah,
yeah.
never mind. So
It's a ritual.
Yeah, teleport, imprisonment, again invisibility, dispel good and evil would probably be a big one.
I think maybe give. I know she's not here right now, but for the sake of ascendancy, maybe have Celia have the teleport.
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, I think. Oh, you know, that's old. Yep. Still, yep. She is our backup,
Like-
and that's why she is sneaky at
Yep.
the moment. Invisibility, dispel good and evil, enthrall.
Enthrall might be real good for someone. I also think that imprisonment.
Yeah.
Any, like, hopefully.
Yeah, just as a note, Stroth is a scroll master, so he has advantage on any scroll rolls because he.
Let's give
Yeah.
Stroff some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please?
Well, he's
Also,
got
I
he's got a
believe-
pretty good chunk. He doesn't have
Maybe
lots of
Sid
ice
can have
attuned.
the imprisonment one.
Yeah, he doesn't have
I like
anything
him
above a
having-
4th level.
Give him
I say give him imprisonment.
Okay, because that is a roll. They would have disadvantage on a saving throw.
I think another rule for scrolls, again, you have to have it in your spell list.
Stroth being a scroll master, because that was his,
Would be different.
He is able to
Yeah.
cast any spell from any. He can cast any scroll.
Yeah, and Riley is life, so I think it's all right
Life,
with that
that's
one.
fine. Yep.
Yeah, it's the rest that are issue because Sylvia's not going to be casting spells.
That's true. Actually, she does have arcane. Is
She's arcane.
elf.
Yeah, she's got the
A high
arcane
elf.
adept or something.
yeah, arcane adept.
Yeah.
She took as her feat,
Okay, yeah, then
which I would allow.
definitely
Count.
do that.
Yep.
Yep.
We could summon some lesser demons.
That's not a vice. That's not vice attuned.
Also, even if it was no.
No. So Vidal's got true sight.
Mhm.
I'll just give him thrall for Iska because that's a bard only spell, I think, or
Yeah.
it was a spell.
also-
Invisibility, see invisibility. X will probably just keep those.
That makes
He's
sense.
gonna pull everything out and sort of, because he's got a bandolier for scrolls, so he'll sit in this bandolier for a
Makes
couple
sense.
of those. Vidar. Who wants to spell good and evil? Does anyone want that? That would be Luna, Vidar, probably good guy. Good luck.
Fernando did $60
Yeah.
Oh.
to the spell bank.
Woo, woo. Thank you very much.
Hey.
Which is interesting.
Give
Wow.
another-
Okay. No, because I need to
Scroll
figure.
with
I
them.
need to figure this out. Because that takes us up to $400 plus 5 levels of hype for today. Sure,
Brought a spell scroll with him.
I will. Yeah. Stroth brought a spell scroll. Who wants to stand? Oh golly, I gotta find a tab I can use. Standby. Did not have D&D Beyond open because y'all are about to roll on a 9th level spell. Thanks to our buddy Fernando out there.
I mean, this is an issue. I will finally, for the first time, activate the dog construct.
Oh,
The life rune.
nice.
I forgot I had that because it's sitting here. So, yeah, he'll sort of sit it down. And,
Wow, it's blackjack. I didn't know. I forgot that now with the new spells. So,
Yeah.
who wants to roll the D21?
I say Axel. He's our scroll master
Axel,
right now.
roll me a D21.
Media swarm, media swarm, media swarm.
Don't blame me. The media swarm was a terrible idea. What are you talking
14.
about? 14.
On a 14. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Interesting.
Oh no, it's always fun to hear.
Is shape change. You assume the form of a different creature. Any creature
We
with a
could have
challenge
2
rating
dragons.
equal to your level or lower.
We could have 2 dragons.
Can I be a glyph scale?
Honestly.
Are y'all cashing it in? I assume. I mean, it's a 9th level spell. It's what you
Yes.
got.
I mean,
Yes.
So yeah,
No,
Stroth
that's
comes
not-
over
Typically
and
wait till it
goes.
rolls over and goes back to level 1.
Yeah. No, so Stroth comes over, and as Axel's passing out scrolls, go, I've been keeping a hold of this. We found it in Darixus. Perhaps it could lend a hand here. It's druid or wizard spell, so it's either
Yeah.
Valturion or Axel, or basically,
Yeah.
or Stroth because he is a
Or
is a
Stroth
scroll
because
master.
he's scroll master, but I think
Go ahead. What do you think?
I'm thinking Valturian.
So was I, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking other option.
Stroth has imprisonment, and he's.
And we're probably going to want him healing because a creature might not be able to cast spells.
Yeah.
And I
I mean,
haven't
we're all
read all the
presuming-
details of it, but
Since the seed is here, you get all the stats of the creature.
Yeah.
So if it can cast spells, you get to cast spells.
yeah, it's you
but,
become the creature.
But what
Yeah.
if we turn the bronze tree?
It's yourself. The bronze tree is not here.
Yeah, first thing, the bronze tree is back in the Glenspire swamp. I know you want the bronze tree to be a part of it now. Anyway, I'm going to call it on this on the preparations. Are there any other preparations y'all have? Because we need to get this baby rolling.
Right before this begins.
Yep.
Iska's just gonna stand with the folks who are involved directly in the ritual and just tell them that this is it. This is everything we've prepared for. This is our moment to change things forever. And she's going to use Frenetic Crescendo from her College of the Maestro, and basically all at once she can dispel as many bardic inspirations as she has. At the
Nice.
same time.
Distribute. Nice.
So it is Luck, Terra, Luna, Vidar, Sathander, and Gandry all get a bardic inspiration from her.
Okay.
So wait, basically the people in the circle.
Everyone in the circle. I actually have 2 left over. Axel Cilia.
That works.
So all the party except Iska get a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cool. Okay. So,
I think I'll drop a bless on everyone as well.
So- remember,
Ah,
when the gate opens, magic fails. So things that are magic based until it starts
right.
flowing again. Now, an inspiration, I'm going to say, is different.
Okay.
But because to me that is
Yeah.
you're playing a song. You're giving inspiration is not using a spell slot. But things that would like use a spell slot, when the gate opens, remember magic across the entire planet fails.
right.
But does that mean that any spells cast on you previously stop working?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't. It's not like an anti-magic zone where they pop back.
No,
they
it's-
disappear.
They disappear because that's what happened with the last army.
Right.
Yep.
Then I'm assuming my what is it? Essentially my shield buff and my rapidity and potency and stuff isn't going to work.
Those are class skills, not again. I would say again, it's a mutagen. It's something. I mean, it's literally a
Yeah.
thing you drink. Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, we modified it, but
Yeah.
so no, I would say that would last. That is actually now just to reset this scene right now. I mean, I've showed you where everyone's going because trying to move people into place while they're in the middle of the scene is just too crazy. You all are basically around the outside edge of this, all kind of looking out there into this giant maelstrom, waiting for it to stop, to then run in and do everything you've got to do in the 90 seconds before magic reasserts itself so that this whole thing will come together. You got it?
Yeah, got it.
So at that point, Valturian,
Ooh, I asked, do I need to have true sight on beforehand or after?
depends on when you want to see. It would take 2 casts to see both before and after. The question is whether you want to see prior to, as you know, like right now, if you want to cast it so you can see if there's anything out there that you can't see, or whether you want to wait until you're in position and magic starts flowing again to cast it on yourself at that point. Or, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Then I am going to have. I'm going to put that up. So we'll put that up, and we'll also take. Now, do we want? Should I pop my wisdom up here, or should I? Or should I pop strength up even higher?
You're going to be standing in place. I mean, Valturian would certainly chime in and go, I don't expect that your role will be a challenge of strength. It will be a challenge of the mind.
Then we'll put this. Then we'll take some wisdom.
Okay. Valturian brings out the seed, this large, large pumpkin-sized seed and walks over to Luna and Dustin, Lily, to hand it to Lily. Or if one of y'all want to carry it for her until she gets into position.
Luna will carry it for her until she gets in position.
Yeah, because you'll be right there beside her.
Yep.
So, you all watch this maelstrom flowing out there. You all concentrating, trying to make sure that you know what your role is, where to go to not, as you get there, to not disrupt Axel or Valturian. For the rest of you to keep a lookout to make sure that everything is going as well as can be expected. And you all take a few breaths, and you can start to feel it. You feel that prickling across your skin as magic begins to fail. You felt it there when the Lord Diviner cast a small area of it. You felt it while using the Death Rune, and you're feeling it now as the gate to this sphere is about to black out magic across the planet. And as that tingling sensation almost becomes unbearable, wanting you to jump and leap forward, magic fails. And the gate opens. All of you begin to rush to your positions. I need Axel and Valturian are going to make me some... I need you to make an Arcana check. Valturian is going to make a Nature check to see how he does getting this... this character sheet. That's his character sheet. To get getting this laid out.
Does Axel have an advantage on Arcana checks? I can't remember.
He does.
No, he's just got a big number, but the question is one is a natural fail?
One is a natural fail.
Okay.
Unless you want to mulligan it.
He absolutely.
Yeah.
Not
so
risking this
you have
one.
that luck dice that was
hell no.
donated by
Thank you.
Kyle, by Hawkeye. You can go ahead and luck roll it.
Oh god, there we go.
28 and a 29. Axel, you go running forward, and your first step and your excitement as you leap forward is a trip, and you face plant in the dust. But immediately, your cat-like reflexes, you jump up and scramble out across.
The magic disappearing got to him.
Yeah. So, the rest of you, we're going to be going down sort of in order, just to give it some type of a little bit of place to it. So, it's going to be either wisdom or intelligence saves, as you either trying to remember where to go, reacting to everything that's happening around you, as this group trying to get themselves into position. I'm going to start off with Landon. As he's going to do a wisdom saving throw to see if he can find where he is. He runs out and starts guarding against anything that's coming his way, followed by Stroth, who goes and gets in his spot. He is keeping an eye out for everyone. Was worried about Axel tripping, but was able to make it to his where he wanted to go. Dustin is looking to the shadows. You can hear creatures out in the woods starting to move around, get anxious. This lack of magic to these creatures that have evolved with this constant maelstrom of magic, it is as though they are starving. Next up, I need Riley to make a saving throw, either a wisdom or an intellect, as Riley tries to keep it together and get out to the center.
Wisdom, obviously.
Look at that, with only a +1, Riley keeps it together. Tian, floating on his little platform, goes out to get into his place using an intellect save on a 15. Drifts out there. He's a little slower than the rest, as he is as he is a plant. Next up is Celia, either Vidar or someone who has Celia's
sheet.
sheet. Yep.
Yep.
She has perception to see if she can keep an eye on if things are coming towards us. Double nat ones, but she does have
She has reliable
the
talent, so
talent.
it's 20.
So it's a 20. Rogues. She
Boy.
this just craziness that is running around. For a second, Celia freezes for a second, and then that rogue training, it's almost as though you can tell in her eyes she is not moving consciously. It is her body doing what she needs it to do in order to listen and see what she needs to see. And here we go. Our three people to bind. First, Fate, Iska, if you will roll me either a wisdom or an intelligence save to get to your spot. With the wisdoms, you get out there, keeping it together. Luck, our divine soul.
Okay. Just opening that.
On a 20, make it out to where you need to go, no problem. Vidar, don't bollocks it up. You hear...
Why did you
Stand up.
s-
I would like to use that
that luck die?
bardic
that bardic inspiration. That's a D.
that's
Yep,
good.
It's a D10, man.
D10.
Well,
On a 13, Vidar, you get out there, and as you are running forward, you're seeing Volturian put down these runes, and you just start getting fascinated by it, and you do not quite get to where you want to be. You are just starting to get to enthralled. You're like just are standing over Volturian's shoulder, watching him work instead of getting to where you're supposed to be. Luna.
so familiar. I've seen this before.
Yep.
Panic attack sets in.
We're gonna mulligan that.
Okay.
Come on, dice, don't do this to me.
You have an inspiration as well if you want.
Okay, I was gonna ask, can I also use the inspiration? Cool.
Because it's
cool.
bardic,
Come
not
on.
donated. It's bardic one. On an 11, Luna, you see Vidar standing there, not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and it's Vidar. You can't not respond. You can't not just be like, "What are you doing?" Gandry, on an intelligence back from his tinkering days. Oh, come on. He is going to do it. He's going to do that inspiration. On a 3, only makes 11. Things are falling apart fast. Next up, Sethander. On on a wisdom. On a 12, he's going to use the inspiration as well. Things are getting out of control. Come on, Seth. On a 13, all of the central circle, as they're crossing over these incredible lines and sigils that Axel and Dr. put on, they're stepping on them. They are marking them out. It is not going well.
Weren't we supposed to get a boost from having some sentinels? Did that eke us over a little bit?
Tara is going to try to stay. Tara is going to try to stay on task. She was the one I was worried about. Let's see how she does.
We got all rules out of the way, right?
Oh,
One of these D10s has to work. Just roll the D10.
Statistically speaking, yes.
I mean, the
On a
God
3.
bless.
haven't worked. I mean, they've all been above 10 so far. Not particularly great, but it's better than nothing.
And going out into the middle, Lily.
So I'm going to have to use this. I only get the one. And it's not
Lily's doing fine. She just walks right out to the middle. It's like standing
Yeah,
there. It's like,
This is fine.
Seed.
Just innocence. Is
So-
this is fine.
Doesn't feel all the pressure everyone else is.
As you all look around and see things, basically half of your time is gone. Almost 45 seconds has passed. People are out of position. How do you all want to try to rally to get this back on track?
I know magic has failed, but key doesn't count as that.
Key
correct?
does not count as magic. Hawkeye's inspiration for everybody.
Thank you.
Fate,
Lord knows they
fate
need
is
it.
on our side,
So,
guys.
if you would allow me, I would like to spend key point, activate Step of the Wind to help get people closer to their spots.
Okay.
Does Ryan Talia still work in this situation as well, or she?
Ryan Talia has magic of a small well of magic of her own, but not a lot.
Okay, but she's still like not.
Yeah.
She's not just a sword.
She's not just a sword. She has basically one spell in her, or that she'd be able to lend you power for one spell. So, Luna, since you did poorly on your roll as well, I need you to go ahead and roll me a wisdom saving throw. You've spent a key point, so you do have advantage on this.
Okay. Can I use the inspiration we just got?
Yep, you absolutely can use, and that's a D12.
All right, come on, come on,
What's the
chat.
answer?
I believe in you. Yes!
Nice.
Whew.
Thank you, John.
On a 23.
Thank you, chat.
You know, it is. You start to run, and I'm mentally thinking magic has failed. I can't use my most efficient mode of Fernando did 30. Another round of luck for all, including Celia from Fernando. Thank you. Yeah. So, Luna, you once
Thanks, man.
you get your ice slide going and you start zipping around this circle. So I need to get re-rolls with advantage because you have Luna, who has got above 20, which was what it was going to have to be for her to give you all advantage. So let's go back. I believe, what was it, everyone? Iska? Iska, you didn't get yours either, did you?
I did fine, I think.
Iska got a
No,
19.
Iska
Luck
fine.
did
Oh,
fine.
19?
So yeah, no, Vidar. So we start with Vidar. Yep.
It was Vidar and the elements who screwed it up.
Yep.
Okay.
Vidar and the elements.
I'm guessing, like, as I'm staring over it and it's all happening, look over to Luna's negative position, I snap out of it, holding Ryan Talia and seeing that Safanda's just out of place as well. I'm just like, I cast my mind back and I begin to think, where am I? Alright. There I am. There he is. Close together, let's move both of us. And I'm going to try to, like, dimension door for both myself and Safanda to be right in those exact two same places where we need to be,
Okay.
if that's possible.
So do me that wisdom saving throw, and I will lower Sathander's. It's not really a dimension door that's happening. It's just using Ryan Talia's will to help
Oh,
along with his
okay.
movement. Yeah, it's not. You can't cast a dimension door. So it's.
And that's why I was confused. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, it's using Ryan
Dimension.
Talia's will basically to all but like lasso and help grab him into place. So he will have a lower DC. You have advantage on this wisdom saving throw to break free and get into position. Break free of just sort of
Pseudo
your
magic.
mesmerism. On a 22, you make it there. Luna, you've made yours. Gandry. Come on, Gandry.
And hey, real quick, is there any way I can, me being close and what I had done, does the Shatter Tongue Whip still active? Is it able to move at all?
Shatter Tongue Whip. You could use it as a whip. You couldn't. It does not. It's not a high enough level of an artifact to be able
Is
to
there
go.
any way I could use that from my position to kind of wrangle Gandry, or at least like show him exactly where he needs to go?
Yep.
Like, yo,
Absolutely. No, I will. It will lower his DC on this save. He has advantage from Luna as Luna comes swing around on her ice slide. As he looks like he basically just kind of forgot where he was supposed to go. He kind of went to where Tara was. On a 16, and yeah, with the help of the whip, you kind of are like, you just crack the whip, right there on the ground, and it snaps right where he's supposed to be. He's like, oh, and runs over and gets into his spot. Sethander basically he sees Vidar and sort of sees the gleaming of Ryan Talia, as he has advantage on this one. On a 24, and with Ryan Talia, he's like, I knew where I was going. And finally,
Shut there.
Tara, who was like fighting with Gandry about, wait,
Which
am
one?
I there? Are you here? Wait, what? Huh? And come on, girl. Oh wait, did she make hers? Didn't she make hers?
No,
She
she
was the one I was
didn't.
worried about. No, it was
Lily
Lily
made
was the one I was worried
No,
about.
Lily made hers.
You know what? Since I'm so close, can I just sort of boot her in the back?
You
She's a barbarian, right?
absolutely can. She's a barbarian, and she can take it. Yeah, it will lower her DC.
Skip.
On a 13, give me a strength check to give her the boot.
Come on. You know what? We're mulliganing it.
Okay.
Come on.
With a 16, it's enough. With her 13, she only missed by 1. So with a 16, you're able to give her a shove, and literally, it's like you see Volturian standing there just like panicked about whether or not y'all are going to make it. This was way too close for it's like, how is the rest of this going to go? And just like that, you see flowing down the vice from both sides this huge tidal wave of magic as it starts to come slamming into you. You see these two arcane walls basically rushing up the highway as magic has reasserted itself, about to come and collide in this vortex. Standing between that collision basically are Dustin, Cilia, Valturian, and Axel. I need Axel and Valturian to roll me Nature and Arcana to try to throttle this incredible surge of magic as it comes slamming in. And let me just check to see if... Oh, she's here. Cool. So, stand by. I'm bringing in Cilia because she's going to have to do a thing.
I'll run off real quick 1 minute.
Yep. We're going to take a quick little second as we get everybody in place.
Don't you hate cliffhangers, guys?
Oh, my glasses are still on.
Yeah, but they're fashionable.
And let me get folks in. Hey, folks, thanks for... we're getting all of our players in because our good friend Cilia just needed to get here from work. Introduce yourself while I get everyone in position there. Jeanette?
All right.
I'm
Hi,
sorry, tree
I
hugging?
am- It's fine. Hi, I am Tree Hugging Druid, or Jeanette. I play Cilia Rolren, our high elf rogue who does roguey things and gets herself in trouble. It's great.
So, if you look at the map... Okay, my hands are shaking so bad I can't get things into position.
Deep breath.
I know, right?
No pressure.
No pressure.
Read your little note.
Yep. Go slow. No pressure. So to bring you up to speed, I don't know if you were listening. Magic has just reasserted yourself after a tense few moments of the party trying to get into position. You are standing guard over Valturian and sort of the western flank as magic now is roaring down here. You rolled double nat ones on your perception check, but reliable talent. Reliable talent saved you as your body just sort of like went into rogue training. Your eyes were like panicked as magic failed. But as you're keeping an eye out on all of the beasts from the Midnight Weald and the Vice, have basically been driven to starvation by this moment of magic loss. You are looking straight down the Vice, the highway, seeing this giant wall of magic come towards you that you know Valturian is going to try to intercept to then sort of throttle as it as it goes into this ritual circle behind you where everyone has finally gotten themselves into position. So that's where we are. You know what? I'm going to go and take the quick break as well because we're not going to stop from here out, and I'm going to need to take a second. So, Luna, if you got a pun of the week, let's do it.
Oh, cool. All right, we're doing this now. Hey, it's everybody's favorite segment, Pun of the Week!
Yay! Da, 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 da.
Oh, God. Why are dogs like phones?
Why?
Because they have caller IDs.
Ha,
Ha 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 ha. Stress.
hold on, let me walk off.
So stressed.
Recommendation.
So very stressed.
Just distract everyone for a few seconds. Some might know that I have been streaming recently. And why have I been streaming? Not a video game. I have been reading online. And what have I been reading? Well, I've been reading Skullduggery Pleasant by Derek Landry. We are currently on chapter 18, and I will be continuing this tomorrow for the final sit down. One of my favorite childhood books.
Isn't it just such a great series?
Oh my god!
I've personally been enjoying the streams. I've lurked, but I've been there. They're good.
I fully enjoy it. Skullduggery is a fantastically hilarious character. We've got one of the best female leads that I've ever read in a book as well.
Truly.
Valkyrie, Stephanie, whichever one we want to refer to her. But she's a fantastic lead.
Just wait till the next couple of books. My God.
I've read them all already. These are my childhood.
Lovely.
Right. Have you read the new book recently?
No, I haven't.
It's really.
I need to pick them up right now.
It's really good.
Okay, let me get Valturian up.
Oh, also this channel's run 100% for charity. This much charity is Project Cure. There's information in the description. If you'd like to donate through our channel, click on the banner above that. You do things. Stress!
Thank you for your donations. It turns out we certainly need
We
them to
kinda need
accomplish
them.
basic tasks.
Okay, so yeah, I was gonna say I was not expecting that getting into position. I thought it was gonna be a little bit of a thing, but
It's the easiest part.
it's
Stay
the
locked in.
easiest part of what we have planned. Fuck, where are my notes?
Have you ever been a stage director?
Have you forgotten that doors are a D&D party's worst enemy? This is like a door, Jay.
It is like a door.
Applause and cheers, man.
I mean, that's
man.
true.
Okay, so as this wall of magic comes flowing down, I need to have. It's going to be. I need a Arcana check from Axel.
May I transform into not my full dragon form, but just his semi-draconic form?
Yeah, just the
But
wings and such.
Just the wings.
Okay. Yes, you may.
As, you know, naturally magical.
Yes, you may. So
So, as this torrent of magical power comes down, he braces himself. He actually kneels to brace himself. Sit on the ground that he sort of just chopped there really while they were sitting everything up before it all went to chaos, is a stone from very early on. The Zeal Stone.
nice.
As he braces himself, physically touching it, as his fur solidifies into scales, two magnificent wings burst from his back.
It's like that
spread out as
Mystique
if-
transformation in X-Men.
Exactly.
And then the wing.
Wings spread out as if like sails to catch the magic as he tries his all to channel it somewhere.
I will give you advantage because that's cool as hell, buddy.
Of course it is.
Advantage
That's why I
on
did
this
it.
Arcana check. On a 25,
25.
you see as the magic comes slamming into you, basically focus across the wings and bridge out in two streams, one going towards Gandry, the other going towards Terra. Over on the other side, Valturian doing his nature check to do the same. He, as it comes slamming into him, he catches it, and you can see it starts to slam it back at him, and he kind of looks back to check on Axel and sees that he's transformed, and you see him change back into that giant elk and lower his antlers, and the huge, like moose-like antlers catch it and divide that out, going in to Sethander and into Luna. As this is some crazy stuff going on, and it's a giant wall of magic, I need Celia to roll me a dexterity saving throw, as Dustin's going to do the same to make sure that he doesn't just get whaled by this. On a 14, you dive. You get somewhat scorched by this. You sort of land up prone. You're not really hurt, but you kind of dive out of the way and don't make a clean landing. Dustin, who is used to working in the Vice and as a Vice runner, basically does this really cool sort of acrobatic thing, like puts his bow down, keeps it in his hand, comes up and is like ready to fire, still set to go. And outside, you see as now these beams of magic coming off, it's being split by Axel, almost like a wedge, and by Valturian on the other side, split into Gandry, Tara, Sethander, and Luna. And then those all focus down into a beam on the Seed and on Lily, who just is enveloped and is disappeared into this burning white light. Inside the circle, for Luna, the Genasi, and everyone inside the ritual, it goes silent. And something else begins to happen. It all fades away around you, this craziness, and your memories begin to merge with one another. You see Gandry. You see his rescue. But this time it's through Gandry's eyes. You see him looking up through that slot and seeing Celia's face for the first time. Her eyes wet with tears, looking down and seeing him trapped in that horrible crate. You then see him having the crate opened for the first time in 2 weeks. Being soaked in this crate full of water to keep his Fire Genasi heritage at bay. And looking up, seeing the night sky, seeing Iska and Luna there. You see him being lifted by luck, still in his older form, and smelling all of that wonderful cooking that gave him hope through many of his days and inspired him to become a cook there at the Cloak and Fireball. You feel his emotions of being released from what he thought was going to be his coffin. And those next 4 days traveling with you, with Iska's music always there in the background. Her violin playing to keep him calm and keep him with you. You then experience Tara's memories. This woman, so determined and stubborn and so much like Celia, so badly wanting to protect Lily and the choir, basically stood up to Asmodeus himself, the king of hell, to deal with him directly, to make sure that Lily and the choir would remain safe. And you see Luna, the price that she paid. You then see her in the church, weak and near death, in a sea of just darkness and depression, as she looks up and sees this beautiful, handsome angel on wings of gold and light, who's there to save her and strike down the monster who had tormented her. You then are with Sethander, meeting the party for the first time there in Larksbrain Chateau, where he felt himself a monster, a soul eater. Then, working with Luna at the Whale, rebuilding the shrines after the windstorm, and finally, over several times on the rooftop observatory, cloaked in his other forms, talking with Vidar, first with scorn for thinking that Vidar just wanted to use him, but eventually with a kinship of those who are unsure of their destiny and their fate and what the world is to offer them. Luna, it is then that you realize the seed is taking them. It is pulling them in and starting to break the ritual because they're being drawn into the seed. And you must bind them to themselves and their identity if this is to work. You look to Gandry. You look to Gandry, and you feel Iska there with you as you try to keep Gandry's soul bound to his body. What would the two of you all like to do to keep him with you?
He was.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, by all means, go ahead.
He was there. Was he there when Iska performed "Children of the Children" at Cooking Fireball, or was
Yes,
that
he would have been. He would have definitely heard it. Yes.
Okay. I think Luna will like look to Iska and start actually singing it, which is not what you normally do.
Mhm.
Yeah, and kind of like look to Iska for like accompaniment with that to try and ground him into his body.
Absolutely. She will join in, first softly, then building more and more strength behind her voice to basically serenade Gandry's soul, the story of Genasi and their strength to keep him on this plane with us.
And I think while Iska's probably doing a comment, I think Luna would do it in primarily to speak, so we're both speaking to both sides of him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
When that's finished, when they finish talking, Iska's just going to say, you didn't fight that hard to get all of this back, only to leave us now.
You can sort of feel that uprising in his spirit. I need you both to roll me a D100 to see how you do.
Okay.
As you watch, it's the song. Your idea of the song, and Iska there singing it to him. You see this sort of spectral form, like you saw at the gateway when the spirits were being drawn back. You watch that get pushed back and lock into his body. And he smiles and looks at you. You then look to Tara, a woman who's seen so much darkness, and you feel luck with you as you move and set your gaze upon her. Luck, Luna, how would you like to remind Tara of who she is?
Are me and Luck close enough that we could kind of like hold hands?
Um,
Or not quite?
Not quite, but I mean, you are this space. You all but could reach out your hand, and even though you can't physically touch, you would feel the kinship, that your energy being combined together. This is a weird Euclidean space. Whatever.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah, physics ain't all the same here.
Gotcha. So Luna would kind of like reach out with luck, and in this case, remind her, just like, you protected that choir for so long. You are strong of heart. We were just there to help you through the last step of your journey, but you took that journey yourself. You are Terra. You are Earth incarnate. You are here to save the world.
Luck, how would you like to contribute?
He sort of nodding to Luna. There's some things that you don't think you can do. Some things where you are sure that you are just a nobody or a simple person in the background. Before you know it, you'll become bigger than anyone could imagine. Luna's right. She has been for a while. You can do this.
I need the two of you to roll D100s. Luna, your words grounding her, you see that strength, almost that barbarian rage, that stubbornness that you've seen in Celia before, ground her back into her body and keep her seated there. Outside, Valturian, Axel, there was a brief shift inside, but it seems as though it's under control and you don't have to try to adjust your tactics. Out beyond, the creatures, as this ritual seems to be staying imbalanced, are almost in a standoff between Celia and Dustin and the ones protecting it. It seems as though the success of things inside the circle affect what is happening without. Luna, you then focus on Sathander. And you feel Vidar there with you. As he is being drawn into the seed, the person who all he ever wanted was his destiny to change, to not be who he was. The siren song of the seed is seemingly starting to overwhelm him.
And again, similar to Luck, she'll kind of like reach out to feel that connection with Vidar.
Vidar's hand reaches out.
Sathander, I am so proud of you. I have literally seen you grow into the person you were meant to be this whole time. You've learned to hold your head up high, embrace what you can do. It's been a long journey since those conversations back in, I'm gonna miss it, East?
In Falcon's Crest.
Back in Falcon's Crest. There's so many more great things for you to do. You've barely scraped the surface. You have access to many lives, but it is time to live your own life. Be here with us.
Vidar?
I kind of shout to him, Savander, draw your sword. Remember your trial. You went through so many lives, so many places to get to this moment. And you have more than enough fights still to lead ahead. I still wish to challenge you in combat, as I know you do too. As Savander, not as Vidar, not as the pirate, not as a swashbuckler, but as you. Your wish may be to become someone else, but deep down, you know who you are. And you have found your destiny, and you have found your place. You belong with us, friend. We will always treasure that. Fight.
I need the two of you to roll me D100s. Luna, your words, again, reminding him of those conversations. You see him reach for his sword, but there's a part of him that you remember what he really wanted to be was a shopkeeper. Just an ordinary person. And that with your words and deeds, it is something that could still be his destiny. Iska, Locke, Vidar, as each of the three that you helped become rebound to their bodies, you realize Luna has been assisting each of them and has drifted dangerously close to the seed. How will the three of you bond Luna back to stay with you? We'll go in the same order. Iska.
You know that's our song, right? You know there'd be no song without you, right? There'd be no Iska Toll without you. You have changed my life forever. You are the world's greatest manager. You are a perfect friend. You are my source of strength. When this is done, I don't know what happens to all of us, but Luna, the one part of this whole thing that I don't know if I can do without, that I don't know if I can separate from, that I need as a constant in my life. It's you. And it's your wisdom and your guidance. Stay here. Stay with us. Stay with me.
Iska, if you go ahead and roll a D100. Luck.
I ain't got a long speech for this one. You made a promise and I made a promise to you. We've still got to uphold them.
Vidar.
Luna. Strange few months it's been. I wouldn't change a thing. Near death store in the middle of the vice. Guess who finds out they're a cleric? I was a tide. Phases of the moon. The tide rises and lowers. Splashes upon the beach. Reels back out to sea. You are an unstoppable force. And fate itself intervenes. Won't change. Never change, Luna.
If you'll go ahead and roll me a D100.
Oh, come on. Can I mulligan that?
You can mulligan that.
That was really good.
That's pretty perfect.
Also, I'd like to apologize for the dehydration. Better.
There we go. That was the key.
Yep. Luna, you hear your friends, Iska, Lakin, even Vidar in his sometimes awkward but strange way. If nothing else, if you leave, who's gonna keep that idiot in line? But you also know what you must do. The tether to your friends is there and it is strong, and you know it will bring you back. But your next task is to venture into the seed. And you allow yourself, surrender yourself to be pulled in. You enter a dark, timeless space. There's a beam of light in front of you, white and burning, that same light that you saw surrounding Lily. Between you and it, there are 3 figures, silhouettes. Their features are masked in shadow. It is a calm place. Feels like home. It's that same comfort that you got the first time you made contact with the seed. And you recognize one of the silhouette's forms as it approaches. It's the familiar form of St. Cuthbert. Luna, there is one more piece to the ritual. The seed needs a soul. Not to be sacrificed to it, but to be bound to it. Whoever it is will not be lost to us, but be a corporeal entity tied to the seed and your people, the Genasi. For as long as the seed lives, it will guide them and be the spirit that infuses all of them for all the generations to come. It need not be the current Anka, Lily. There are other souls that can be chosen, but each will have its cost. The soul of the water genasi in your medallion is one of those. But the torment that it went through as it was twisted into an acid genasi will forever be a thorn in the side of your people. A constant reminder of what they went through. It'll make your people suspicious, and hard to trust, and easy to offend. They will know the oppression your people suffered, and it will make them difficult to ever oppress again, but it'll make them a distant people, separated from the world around them. A second figure steps forward. A female figure, tall, statuesque, long silver braids and kind smiling eyes as Eldath approaches. Lily can still become the soul of your people. She will not be lost. She will be like a dryad dancing through the forest, and you will still be able to know her, but will not be the same as she is now. She will fill your people with a carefree joy and peace that she still carries with her even after all that she has endured. But that trusting happiness, that peace that will fill them, will make your people much like my own, vulnerable to the harshness of the world and all who would want to take advantage of them. The final figure approaches. It's a very large, tall figure, broad, shoulder deep of chest. As they step into the light, it's Riley, but far, far older than the Riley you know. Ancient, in fact. Runes of every type glowing all over his body. His age is unknowable as he approaches you. Withered bark and armor, weathered. There is also another choice. The soul that lies here. And he reaches out and gently places his hand on your abdomen. A soul unformed and able to help your people balance the scales of the world that they are becoming a part of. But Luna, it is the only soul that you carry. To bind it to the tree will deny yourself of biological motherhood.
Family can be found. It doesn't have to be made. I will give the soul I carry.
He looks at you in Eldath and St. Cuthbert. Nod. Outside, And you, Luna. The whole PR party feels a burden that is lifted from them. Like a great weight that they have been carrying has finally been taken from them. The creatures of the Weald stop attacking, and within the ritual circle you see Luna's spirit exit from the seed and re-enter her body. A stillness and peace fills the clearing, followed by a wave of feelings of belonging and family as it flows over the Genasi and everyone gathered here. Gandry breaks into a smile, which is then mirrored by Seth and Tara. Lily looks to Luna and nods. The seed floats in the center of the ritual circle and begins to rise higher in the air, 50 feet, 100 feet, as it slowly begins to rotate. The currents of elemental magic that once flowed through Gandry and Tara, Seth and Luna are now bound directly to the seed by divinity, the arcane, and fate. A crack forms down one side of the seed as it germinates. The shoot merges and slowly unfurls, and then the seed erupts in an explosion of growth. Roots shoot out over the seed, overarching overhead and burrowing into the ground around the perimeter of the clearing, forming a huge dome overhead. As they thicken and begin to block out the sky, you see the ritual sigils below your feet begin to glow. The runes lift off the ground, carrying all of you with them. A magical platform that swings around the space, gathering the rest of the party, and then it shoots upward through the tangle of roots to reveal what is happening above. There, underneath the blue sky, a huge trunk, so massive you can hardly perceive the curvature of it, shoots upward, towering over 100 feet over even the tallest trees of the Midnight Weald. There, huge branches, wide as the thoroughfares of Falcon's Crest, are spreading out to form the tree's canopy. Blooms of every color, shape, some as big as wagons, others as small as snowflakes, begin to open among the vibrant green and indigo leaves. As the explosion of growth slows down, the platform then moves into the canopy, revealing elegant structures made from bark and branch and leaf, twisting vines creating bridges and staircases connecting everything together. You rise higher and see beautiful airy homes and buildings at the tips of the branches, gently swaying in the fragrant breezes. The platform then plummets back down into the dome formed by the roots. There you see elemental arcane energy of every type flowing up the roots like flames. Across the floor, that was once a central clearing of the Vice. You see whole districts of buildings made up from the roots and earth. The platform exits again and slowly rises upward towards the nexus of the tree. You drop into a deep green rainforest area. Waterfalls pour off giant leaves into streams that run down the branches covered in ferns and moss. And there, at the center, is a deep, beautiful, pristine, clear lake. Beside the lake stands a figure as the platform comes to rest. And there, in front of you, Luna, you see a figure with your same eyes, your same smile. As the platform gently lands, the whole party together. And this, the new home of the Genasi people, its spirit in front of you. What would you like to do?
She'd walk towards it little closer and you are beautiful. I couldn't have asked for anything better. Thank you.
They look at you and smile. Beautiful, long, slender, elf-like, ethereal form. Hello, Mother. I hope you don't mind. I've named myself and this place. I'd like to call it Lunaria. Thank you for what you have given all of us. And do you mind if I call our people home? You see her reach down, lay her hand upon the tree, and you hear a call go out, asking the Genasi people if they'd like to come home. And as people accept, you hear those living hidden away, those who are living all throughout the kingdoms, say yes, and those blossoms open, and you see Genasi people, those you helped at Verdant Falls, those who ever choose to do so are able to take but an answer to a clarion call and return to this, their home.
Imagine Luna's gonna reach out to roughly where the figure's cheek would be. I'm proud of you. Always.
I will need some help, I think. But it seems as though all possibilities are open to us. The rest of the party you see around you as first a dozen, then 5 dozen, then hundreds of Genasi begin to emerge from these blossoms, looking around in wonder at this giant world tree in the middle of the Midnight Weald. As magic for Axel, Vidar, you feel something you've never felt before. This empowered normalcy to it. A magic that is no longer broken, as this tree has now healed the rift between east and west, between order and nature, funneling the magic through everything. Dustin holds Lily's hand, walks over to you, Luna. It is a wonderful home you've made for us. If you'll make me an honest man to share it with you.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I hear there's some other things you've got to take care of first, but we'll make a home for you to come home to. What's the rest of the party doing?
Celia's gonna go give Luna a hug.
Yeah, I think we as players might also do that, huh? Oh, just a quick fucking. Oh my god. Jay, but Alicia.
Alicia.
Yeah.
Alicia.
Beautiful.
Giant group hug happens here
Half a crash tackle.
in the bowels of Lunaria. A new part of my world. The home of the Genasi people.
You did it, Luna. Congratulations.
Yeah, when Iska's in there for a hug, she's just gonna say, it's not our song now. It's yours. It's yours.
You hear Gandry yell out, "Sky!" And you see Sky come charging out from this giant magnolia blossom and come running down, and the two of them just crash hug into each other and spin around.
He's alive! He's alive!
And I imagine just seeing all that, just Luna she's happy, faces lighten up with her markings and whatnot. Just it's beautiful.
Luck, there's a whole lot of room to fly up here. Same thing with Axel.
Why not?
Your golden wings expand. Axel on draconic wings, infused with serious magic right now.
You show-offs.
Oh yeah. Axel's going straight up, and as he does, he lets out all that power. In basically we've had that little that fireworks that we found all the way back there.
Oh my gosh,
We
yes.
exploded, right? In
Oh
his
my
face.
god.
Yes.
He is going to put on a magnificent fireworks display.
And as you do, some of these tiny flowers like snowflakes and others begin to drift down as flower petals rain down around everybody. Luck, what are you doing up there on golden wings?
Just enjoying the view. He sort of is like, at that point, leaning back in the air. Just looking.
Tara runs over to Celia. So, I guess this is where I'm gonna live now.
It is, yeah.
I mean, I don't think Mim will be mad, will she?
I don't think she'll be mad. I think that she'll be happy that you're safe.
And even as you mentioned Mim, not all of them, but you do see a couple of Mim's Genasi make appearances.
Does the Earth Genasi that Celia just randomly hugged that one day? Did she see that one?
I forgot about that.
Sure, yes. I was gonna say, don't ask me what her name was.
I don't think you gave her a name, actually.
Okay.
I don't think you gave me a name either. Celia looks pointedly at that one and just says, "Thank you."
I think I should be thanking you. This is amazing.
Celia just points to Luna and says, "You think her. Not me. You think her."
Thanks.
Sure.
Off to your left, you see a blood red rose begin to form its bud, and it opens. And Madame V strides out. Well, it looks like you've done it, dear. I do hope there's a way home. I don't want to leave my business unattended, but I couldn't come and see what have become of someone who I always knew held such promise.
Good to see you too. I have good friends, and kind of like looking over to like Dustin and only looking back. Family.
Family is a wonderful thing. But for those who don't, how do you feel about brothels in your new treehouse?
That's a literal thumbs up.
Thought so. We'd want something with a lovely view. There looks like to be quite some choice.
Yes.
She sort of looks out and across and starts sort of going around this beautiful lake.
Celia just looks at Tara and says, "You're not working at a brothel.
You're not the boss of me."
You're not working at a
Correct
brothel."
answer. I think Luna at that point will like wander back over to Dustin. Can I kiss you?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Okay. And just kind of same tender kiss there or whatever.
And, boy, I thought we were going to go over, but we can wrap it here for the day, or we can continue on. We've got about 45 minutes left to enjoy the wonders of this new place. I mean, there's a lot to explore.
That reminds me, so since my kid runs this, does that mean everybody owes me rent? I'm just wondering.
It's up to
Back of my
you.
mind.
That's up to you. At this point, it looks like you've probably got a surplus of housing.
Yeah, you still I got a bottom line here. We'll get a Genasi discount going. Fine, I'm not a monster.
Does family get discount?
I looked at Dustin and Lily as family.
How do we feel about pets?
I mean, as long as you pay the pet deposit, that's fine.
You see Grain. He's a little scared of being up this high. You all are about 600 feet up in the air. Again, just to give you a scale, for those of you who have been there, basically the trunk of this tree is as big as Epcot Lagoon. It is all but, it's about 2,000 feet across at this very central nexus where this giant lake is. Branches are literally like as wide as the widest boulevards. The top of the tree crowns out at about 700, 800 feet, so a 70 or 80 story building type idea. It towers over the entire Midnight Weald. It's kind of like a giant cypress tree. The road does, as you flew down under the roots, still does run through it, but it seems as though the magic is basically being intercepted by the roots and has healed the vice. So theoretically, no more vice surges.
I test that.
Oh man, yeah. Looking up here, can I cast True Sight
You can.
on Vidar and just get a look down at the rest of the world and see what he sees?
Yeah. No, Vidar, you feel Iska's hand on your shoulder. And that part of you that is still, that piece of Iskrin that is back, goes, it's all in order. The lines. And you look out across, and from up here with this magical sight, it is far further that you can see. You can literally see these giant sort of circulating lines at the poles of magic, instead of being short-circuited across the Vice, now flowing normally up through Balathira, down and around, through Highmount, just circulating across the places that you all have visited, these upsprings of magic, feeding this system over on the west side of the continent, on the east, flowing through Falcon's Crest, down to Falinari, even up to where Darixis once stood. You can see these, as magic is being restored, parts of Darixis that were attuned to magic and ran off of magic, re-energizing and coming back life. The Sunset City, even in its ruins, somewhat coming back to life with the restoration of magic in the world. It is wondrous.
This is beautiful. I cast jump on myself and just begin to leap from branch to branch. I eventually find Riley and just give him a big hug and say, "Do you mind if I borrow an old friend?"
No, not at all.
And I take both the Burnished Star and the Soul Forged Eclipse. Ryan Tyler in left, Lyle in the right, and go for the highest branch I could find and try to look over the entire land.
You hear Lyle in your head, "Hello, sister." And she goes, "Brother." It is quite a thing, isn't it? You, for the first time, hear a little bit of softness in Ryan Talia's voice.
I point Ryan Talia towards the east and Lyle towards the west. We still have to protect this. We still have a lot to do. But this is our home. This is for everyone.
And as you are up there on the top branch and you point out towards the west, a question that was in the back of your mind is answered. First, you think it is a cloud moving away from you, but it is not. Your magical sight zooms in on it as you see hundreds upon hundreds of netherwings flying straight towards Balathira. Amongst them, one enormous black shape with chaos magic just flowing off of it.
With flourish of Lysithia and Ryan Talia standing to full height over the whole psychic network, and a little bit of me just pushing beyond the limits of that network to everyone else. They're making their move, everyone. We have succeeded, but they are on the move. marching for Balathira. It's happening.
Then we know where our next step is. I've got a home to protect. I'm ready.
And I have a way to get us there.
No. Dimension door, please.
Yep. And Lunaria looks at you and goes, "So, Mother, will you teach me to swim?"
Now I know you're mine.
And the two of you can dive into this beautiful lake here among the treetops. And as you dive down deep, you see sitting there at the very center, at the bottom of the lake, a stone. Perfectly spherical.
Is it like kind of fused in place? Can I pick it up?
No, you can pick it up.
Pick it up.
You look at it and see that it is the burdened stone, now made whole. That shared burden amongst the whole party, now reunited to eventually be passed on, to somehow eventually land with Ambrose and bring the circle of fate back around.
Place it back. And then just probably swim around, whatever, until it's time to...
Yeah. So, my winged friends, are you all doing exploring or just
Actually,
showing
doesn't have
off?
that much time. He's going to show off, then he's going to have to land because I can't keep it up forever.
That's true.
Especially when he's getting rid of all the magic.
Yeah. You land back down next to Riley, and Riley goes, "So, you know, all that magic, it's like down in that root area, underneath the roots of the tree. I mean, you saw it, right, Dad? They're flowing up like fire?"
I might have missed that.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
So,
But it feels fresh.
right? I mean, I don't know a lot of magic, but I can tell you the life rune is kicking.
Yeah. It's good. Kind of been eating that.
I think so. So, you're gonna raise a dragon next?
To be honest, after seeing this, I'm not as doubtful as I was. I mean, it probably can still go terribly, terribly wrong, but he sort of looks over to where Iska is, whatever she's doing. Because fate is a very powerful thing. And, well, there's a lot of powerful things out there. He just gives his son a hug.
He gives you a huge hug back. Luck on Golden Wings? Do you alight back down below, or can you see your house from here?
Any?
You can't.
See the mountains.
You can see the mountains. You couldn't see your house from here.
He's
fact-
going to do a bit of exploring, sort of checking the treetops before coming down.
Yeah, you flip around and it is beautiful. You actually, as you fly up there, you're not quite sure how, but it seems like that Sky dragging Gandry has beat you all the way up here, and she seems to be house shopping. She is going from place to place to figure out, and Gandry's like, but you haven't seen it all. There's like fire down below. She's like, but there's air up here, and you can see. Maybe we could kind of both.
He'll learn.
Yeah, and she just sort of gives him the look, and he's like, okay.
You won't win.
I don't. Yeah.
Get used to it.
And Sky just smiles. She goes, yeah, get used to it. And as you sort of swing down, you'd see other water genasi there in this sort of central rainforest area that Luna and the rest of the party was in. You see them sort of doing the same thing. And as you dive down sort of through these roots that are like a cypress tree, you do see some of the fire genasi and earth genasi immediately making themselves at home. In fact, maybe even some of them first appeared down in this area. And others you see, there's this long twisting vines around the trunk making sort of staircases all the way up and down. And as you explore, it's interesting. You see these buildings, and several of them look like actual forges that have these arcane foundries lit by the arcane fire. And down underneath of you, where it should be dark, there's sort of these rainbow stripes, kind of like looking at a campfire that's burned long and low, that's like blue flames just sort of chasing up the different roots up under there, sort of fire hardening this whole lower structure from if anyone ever dared to attack this place. The most interesting thing you see, some of the creatures and beasts of the Midnight Weald, who had been so ferocious and wild and quick to attack, looking almost domesticated. You see tiger spiders kind of just calmly making nests up in there. You see tumble beasts all but like rolling into like stable areas, sort of, and finding places to call themselves their homes. You don't see a chonky unicorn. You look, but you don't see one.
Dang it.
You're just going to settle down and rejoin the party and just be like, well, that worked.
A lot better than
Imagine Luna will pop back out of the water.
Yep.
Actually, and she turns to Dustin. I think I just made you unemployed. Sorry.
I don't
It's okay,
mind.
because
I've got my daughter back. And I've got you.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some hunting to do, right?
maybe some protecting.
That and could probably use some. Is city the right word? Tree planting?
Hey, I figured out how to run a guild.
Right. And sounds like you'd be good for the job then. And also you don't owe me money anymore because you're still alive.
Oh, right. That's good. I don't have any, so that's good.
Deep pull.
That was a deep pull.
And yet you remembered. Oh.
So as the party gathers and revels in the splendor of Lunaria and what they've accomplished today, knowing that soon they have to face a whole another battle. But this one, this story, has come to an end with something wonderful. Not only for the party, for Luna, but for a whole race of people who had nowhere to go and now have many, many generations to flourish. All because of what y'all have done. And with that, we will end our session of the Vice for today. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. Let's go around, and we've got a few minutes, so if you want to do more than just say who you are and where you are, feel free. Since we'll go the opposite direction now. Go ahead, Dragons.
Hi everyone, I'm Dragons and Cats, and what an incredible, just what an incredible session. The RP was so incredible, it was just so on point, and Celia, we're going to have a discussion on what tier of the tree we're going to live on if we are going to live here in the future after all of this. If you want to keep an eye on your sister, certainly we could do that. But, yeah, this was such an impressive session that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life, I feel. Because this was fantastic. Catch me everywhere, Dragons and Cats on Twitch and Twitter's links in the chat below.
The man behind the cat, Templar Warden.
Hello, I am Templar Warden. I'm playing Hidden by Axel, the Dragon Cat wizard who... He had a kid before? It was cool. I don't know. No.
Really? Really?
Wow.
Wow. I see how it is.
All those tears for nothing.
Anyway, you may find me.
Please get on my level.
Absolutely. Yep. He's he kind of he's got a one up now.
Say she built a capital city.
Yeah, he's got a lot ahead of him. Anyway, you may find me on.
I don't see no Tabaxi with no capital city.
Hey, Runeforged, okay? Runeforged. Tabaxi are boring. You may find me anywhere in the internet as Templar Warden. You may find me on Twitter at Reino Templar. You may find all of us and announcements and other people in the community in the Discord that I will link in chat. This was a absolutely amazing session. Absolutely wonderful. Loved it. Thank you, Tall School, for running it all this way. It's not even over yet.
It's not even over yet. Next up, Bird versus Plane.
It's not over yet, but man, this was a session that solidifies just how close this is to the end. I don't think it hit until this moment happens, until seeing our actions have consequences, real, amazing consequences. Great work, everyone. Good Lord. I'm Bird vs. Plane. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at that very same name. It is an honor to be a part of, man. This is awesome, and I'm stoked to see this thing through. Oh.
Next up, NNG9.
Hey, well, this session was amazing. I could not be happier with all the characters, all the players, Jay especially. It's amazing. Just it is. You can find me on Twitter and Twitch, but thanks everybody.
Good guy.
Where do we start on that one? Lots of stuff accumulated to get us to this point. 3 years ago, bunch of random schmucks who had just met, and now we've got this beautiful story and this this madness opus of solidifying our characters' efforts into something, which was awesome, fantastic,
Thank you.
and I can't express how much I have really thoroughly enjoyed these past 3 years. Always looking forward to a Saturday to play this. So, yeah. You can catch me at Good Guy Pie on Twitch, where I'm reading the Skullduggery novels, and you can catch me on Too Good To Guy on Twitter, where I post art and things.
And last but certainly not least, Tree Hugging Druid.
Hi. You can go find me on Twitter. I'm baffled. Like, we're almost done. It's been like over 3 years. And like, honestly, you guys are my family, whether you like it or not. I love you guys so much.
Yeah.
We should have a group meet up when it's all done as fast as possible.
Like, I have never wanted to hug all of y'all so
not
much as the
same.
session. Like, oh my gosh.
So I'm Tall Skull. Golly. Thank you all so much. I mean, I'm not saying a goodbye one yet because we still have 4 more sessions to go. There's a big bad out there to defeat, but the original concept for this campaign was to heal the vice, and to see it done with such an amazing group of people. Truly, highlight of my life. So, thank all of you. Thank everyone out there who's watched and donated and helped so many charities along the way. We're not done yet, but
Some of us are gonna die. We ain't done yet.
yeah. I was gonna say I've been trying to kill Vidar for oh my god.
Kyle's been.
I
trying to
swear to
kill
God, that kid just won't die.
Rid of a legendary
Can't kill
resistance, and he
him.
still kept it.
Two of us has died before that man.
Yeah. But yeah, until next
I
time,
can't even do himself in.
everybody gather your friends together. God, and tell a story. Because there's nothing in the world quite like it. Bye, everyone. I gotta get off before I get so choked up I can't talk anymore. Bye-bye. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Yeah.